Alright, so my big old gasket and O-ring kit has come in. The bearings are in, and they've been in the freezer for about 18 hours. So what I think I'm going to do is wipe this down really good, heat it up a little bit, and see if we can get that thing to drop in. I'm going to try anyway. So we'll see what we can come up with. Alright, so I heated it up a little bit, got my bearing, which is about 6 degrees below zero. Oh, how perfect is that? That's a thing of beauty. That's what you want to see. Absolute beauty. Perfect. That is perfect. So, I think what I'm going to do now, I didn't even need any of this stuff. Fantastic. Now I'm going to try to figure out where all the little seals go on this side, so I can try to get this side put back together, and then see what I want to do about the bottom, and maybe the other side as well. So we're going to let that warm up, get itself in there, and when we get to it, after we get all of this stuff reassembled, we're going to flip that over, mix up all the bolts, so I screw that up, and flip it over, pull that other bearing out, and do the same thing over there to get the other new bearing in, which is also in the freezer. And these are still available, thank goodness. I still haven't checked to see if this is a more standard unit, but perfect. That's what you want. Oh yeah, and it's still basically cool to the touch. Yeah, I think that's going to be much happier now. Really, I could just slap it back together and I'd be done right now. But since I have the seals, we're going to try to do it so it is good. So that's what we're doing. Alright, that's pretty much back together. Had to go through all the little individual O-ring bags, part number by part number online to find out where the heck they went, but I was able to find the O-rings for this thing and the O-rings for this pipe and over here, and everything else is good. Supposedly you're supposed to replace the guts of this thing when you take it apart. I don't know why. Hopefully we don't find out, but yeah, everything is good, and oh, she is super stable even with just that one bearing in there, and this just dropped right in like it was supposed to. Didn't need a puller, didn't need a pusher. You're supposed to have a pusher to put this thing on, but I was able to just push it down in my hands lightly and it boop, popped into place. Had to do a little bit of prying to line up just to pull it up on it so I could get the C-clips in there underneath that holder. But they're all in, clearances are all good, so we're going to start working on that. I did knock the axle seal out of that side while I was in there. We'll do this one while we're at it. But now we're going to start cleaning this up, flipping it over, getting the gasket back on it, and seeing where we end up. She's coming. Alright, well, we got the gasket off, got the new gasket on, got all the O-rings I could find that fit in here, a couple weird ones in here. Of course, the support bearing for the shaft I just dealt with the other bearing is not the same, so yeah. Anyway, we'll deal with that later. Got the new axle seal in, got the new output shaft seal on. And she's about ready to go on, I think. We gotta line this tube up with here and this hole up with here with my new O-ring. So, Gasket, you gotta stay down. She's hanging up a little bit on the differential carrier bearing. Okay. Alright, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to warm this up, clean this real good, warm this up a little bit in here so we can get her to seat. But other than that, I think it's going good. We'll be back. Alright, well that was a trip, and I got a little seal that's pulled inside my other one. I'll have to fix that. But, looks like she's good. I gotta put all the bolts back in. There's only 2 sizes, which is nice. All the interior ones, and these are short, and the rest are long. And then we're gonna torque them down. I think it's 21 foot-pounds. Yep. And that's the big part. So we'll see where we go from here. Alright, we got the new O-ring on the filter, got the magnets cleaned off really good, got the bottom of it bolted up, all 9 foot-pounds for all those little buggers. And now I'm debating what I want to do. It's ready to go back in the car because it's back together. But I've got a couple of more O-rings and a new gasket for that other side. And that one wasn't too hard to take off. There wasn't too much in it. So I think I'm going to flip this thing over and pop the other cover off, redo all the 30 O-rings in there, little tiny ones, on a bunch of those tubes. And then, yeah, then we're going to have it ready to lift back up maybe. Alright, there's all the piles of O-rings. We found the vast majority of them, except for some that would have had to do if we tore the whole guts out of it. But we didn't disturb any of those, so now I've got 3 that came with it that are for the sensors. Got my new sensor in, it came with 1, but I'm going to replace the O-rings on this sensor and this speed sensor down here. And then I can slip the flywheel on, and this disaster is ready to go back in, I think. Everything turns, the parking pawl lock works. Nothing had to get jammed and destroyed to put back together. Whew, let's see, we're getting there. Alright, there it is. All put back together. New bearings. As many new O-rings as I could find a spot to use. And new gaskets. Except for one of them. There's another internal gasket somewhere in there, but we didn't split all of that apart. So all external gaskets are changed. And she's basically ready to go back in. But I don't know if I'm going to tackle all that today. May wait until tomorrow. Start fresh. But now the fun part will be trying to remember where the hell I put all the nuts and bolts. Bag and tag. Oh yeah, we did that for just the flywheel bolts. Everything else is scattered from hell to breakfast. But several piles. But, well, hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to see if this stupid thing drives.